Alright, folks, welcome to more L5R content. A couple of people and I were just discussing how we would clean up the RL because a lot of people have been commenting on how it's just so many cards now. So, this is going to be my kind of attempt. So, my suggestion would be for Fantasy Flight Games to create a kind of reprint pack where you reprint all the cards on this list that I'm gonna remake as like full arts, and then you just ban the old ones. And I think as a business decision, the pack would sell obviously because you need the cards, and then obviously making them full art is kind of a nice way to incentivize people to kind of buy it. All right, so go down the list from the restricted list. So first changes I would make real quick is I would unban. So I can fix some of the cards on the ban list too. So we'll go from here. So the liar, I would just unban. Like I would unban liar. You could probably like if you wanted to do a reprint of it, like you could remove sincerity and just have a three Paul dash mill zero glory courtier. Like that's perfectly fine. Above rate. So like I mean it's powerful. Um I can't fix Guest of Honor. I just think this design space is not good. So we're gonna leave that one here. Spyglass, you could limit to once. You make it limited to like draw once, and you probably add restricted to it. One of those two. That's a pretty easy fix to Spyglass. Charge, not really a fixable card. The mechanic is too powerful. Can't fix Tadaka. I wouldn't make Karada District because it's limit one per deck. You could remake Policy Debate into a Crane card. So Policy Debate remade into a Crane card and make it cost one. Like you just need to add some kind of restriction to it, right? So you can make it cost one. We can make it Paul only. We can make opponent choose duelist. Like any combination of these, like these are the qualifiers. So like you could make it cost zero and be Paul only, opponent chooses the duelist, or you could make it cost one Paul only. So like if you bracket it, like you just have to bracket it in like the first two or the second two together. Make cost one opponent chooses the duelist, I think is too weak. Master of Gisei Toshi, I would just make it so. No, this card's just always gonna be problematic. It's similar design space that I think is just too hard to balance. Contra District, Georgian's Curse, Hidden Moon Dojo, Daisho, Gateway to Meadow, all these can just stay here, like they're just mistakes. I would unban Keeper Initiate. I wouldn't change the card at all. I just or un-RL Keepers and make them stay the same. Like they're powerful, but I mean in the earlier video I said I wouldn't restrict them. So rebuild. This design space is really hard because you make your holdings maybe too powerful. So changes to rebuild, you could. I mean, so I'd make it cost one, at least. So cost one. Yeah, cost one, and then you could potentially add a restriction of needs to replace a face-up card. So choose a face-up card in a non-broken province. In Unbroken Province. Actually, wait. Here we go. We'll do it this way. So Spyglass. We'll start with Spyglass here. We'll just get the text of these cards here. Alright, so Spyglass, this is how I would change Spyglass. I'll actually just I won't even do open-ended stuff. So reaction after a character commits to a conflict, moves to a conflict, draw one card, limit, or just there. Just delete this line here, right here. There. Draw 1 card. We'll go to policy debate. During a conflict, so I would make this cost 1. 1 cost. Action during a political conflict. There. Fixed. Keeper initiates, so I'd keep the same. Liar's tax is just, I would remove sincerity. Honor all keepers. Rebuild. Cost 1. Let's try this. What do you think about Rada for Tadako Master to tax 1 fate to play the cards instead of current wording, so they'd be similar to Tetsuko? I don't know. I think that's a slippery slope. I think that the current fixed versions in quotation marks of these cards. I actually just think Tetsuko might be too powerful too. Like attacks can basically lead to being you can't like. There's a lot of times where that is just too powerful. 1 sec, folks. Just need to. All right, back. Anyways, so as I was saying, I think that doing taxes is still too powerful for blanket effects because it does lead to a position where your opponent is forced to basically sacrifice too much to be able to play the game. So I think for like Tetsuko, I think I would change Tetsuko if she was on this list, for instance, to free her. I would change her to maybe your opponent to play events cost one more, right, when she's attacking, as opposed to all cards. I think that's a pretty easy fix to make her less oppressive. Obviously, this game has so many powerful cards that. All right, so let's take a look at the text of Rebuild. So it costs 1. All right, so 1 cost, and then we have. Let's bold this action here. Shuffle a card in shuffle a face-up card in one of your Unbroken Provinces back into your Dynasty deck. This kind of makes it so that if you flip a character you want to buy, you do have to weigh the opportunity cost of losing the ability to rebuild on that province. Maybe this is too weak, and I obviously would have to try it. And you then remove this text if it's just too weak at 1 cost. But this effect is just so powerful that I don't know if it needs to be any different. Well, that's how I would attempt to fix that kind of card. Miyamoto's Fury. So I actually think Miyamoto's Fury is really bad right now, but if I was to print a fixed version of this card, it would be a pretty easy fix. I would do it like this. During a conflict, choose an attacking character with glory lower than X. Not X or lower. Lower than X. Bow that character. X is equal to the number of memory performances. Bam. Now you can't bow things that are equal to the number. You just want it to be less than. That is how I would fix that card, and then I would un-RL these cards. All right. Let's make this more official looking. There we go. Okay, so next card on the list that I would touch is Display of Power. This is a tough one. I think that this card maybe just works too. Here's a thought for rebuild. Crab has 6 characters that have the engineer trait. Maybe rebuild require you to target an engineer to be able to play it, or maybe have an engineer. I think that card just becomes too niche then. And I actually like the ability to just play it. Oh, you could do 1 cost, and then if you have an engineer, you could lower it to 0. But I personally am not trying to design new cards. So, for instance, if you were to make a new rebuild in like an engineered style set, you could do it in a way to play with that, but then you have to continue to revisit those themes. So like the goal of this video is not to design new cards, it's to kind of do just functional reprints of cards that then cleans up the restricted list. Because this list is obviously too big. Most people who see this list just are like, why are there so many cards here? And the restricted list is like not really doing its job. I personally would just have a ban list and no restricted list. Just like, if cards are problematic, you just ban them, similar to how they do it in Magic. So, for instance, like Display of Power, I would just ban, like, ban Display of Power. It's just not the design. The design of the card is really like it's interesting and it is very Phoenix, but it's just not within the framework of the game or how it's intended. I would just ban Forged Edict. Um, because it it's obviously too consistently powerful, and just leave Forgery. And then as the game went on, I would take a look at the other cancels, and I believe that like Voice of Honor and Censure should probably just cost 1. Like I think the cancels in this game, like the cost curve in this game is obviously a problem. Yeah, exactly. Pick a lull. But that's my problem is that like this list only is gonna grow, and it's only because you have to keep adding multiple cards. Like the main complaint of Tactical Engineering on here is that there's no other real choice for Lion, in terms of meta, and so the the illusion of choice, is not really a way how I want to do it. Okay, so ban Display of Power, ban Forge Edict. Yeah, we're not gonna like try and do like any rules or anything. We're just gonna try and clean this list up and move straight to ban list. That's the goal here. So duty is a pretty easy fix. Like this is actually just a super easy fix. Let's get this text here. Interrupt when the effect of a card ability will cause you to lose your honor. Cancel the effect. Where would I put? How would I change the wording here? Or framework step. Cause you to lose your honor. Cancel that effect. I would just put in parentheses like something along the lines of like not during the draw step. Like that's there you go. Like I don't know exactly how to word this because I obviously I need to that's not really my forte, but like everyone understands this is the problem with the card. We would just do it this way. You could potentially remove this here, this gain 1 honor portion, like I would probably do that also. I would just like do it this way. Oops, there's the elements of this page. I think I'd do it that way. That's how I would fix the card. Oh, sure. Like just as a period. Okay, okay, I like that. Cancel that effect. Period cannot be used during the draw phase. Easy. All right. Next card, Tactical Ingenuity, is actually, I think I have another pretty easy fix for it. So this is going to go to cost 1 to be more in line with Spyglass. Oh, I hate this. I hate these designs actually, like Spyglass and Tactical Ingenuity, but like they're in the game, like same with Studious. So I'm just gonna accept that they're in the game and deal with it. So we're gonna go with attached character gains action during conflict when this character is participating. Search the top 4 cards for an event, reveal it, and add it to your hand. Shuffle. We'll go with one cost attached max 1 per character. That way you have to spread out you have to buy more commanders to have it, and then we're gonna go. Yeah, I like that actually. Make it cost 1 and make it max 1 per character. Okay, cool. So tactical ingenuity, we'll do it this way, where this removes a lot of the abuse of the card, where you have like multiples on the same character, and you then don't have to buy any more commanders. Like there's no risk. Like you could even make this still 0 and have it max 1 per character. But I think 1 cost might be proper just because of how deep it digs, and it's more in line with Spyglass then. It gives a stat and all these things. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Ronan. That's the other point is it stops multiple uses. Okay, so Embrace the Void. Embrace the Void is actually a really easy fix. Is it? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, okay, yeah. So limit 1 per character because Way of the Dragon has the same wording. Gotcha. So Embrace the Void is a pretty easy fix. Embrace the Void. Playing only if you control a Shugenja character, interrupt one or more fate would be removed from attached character. Instead, move that fate. Instead, move. It's not even instead. Instead, move from from the attached character. Not instead. We're just gonna say move up to 1 fate to your up to 1 of that fate of that. We'll try that. We'll try it this way. And since the number 1 was used earlier, we will use another number instead of a word. Move up to, we'll just say move 1. Not even up to. Move 1 of that fate to your fate pool. The rest is discarded? Sure. And this. Oh, sure, just gain 1 fate. Okay, yeah, I like that. Gain 1 fate. There. This way, you still get the effect. The effect goes through, but then you gain. It's just a reaction. It's not even. It wouldn't be an interrupt. Then it would be a reaction because you're not interrupting the fate removal anymore. You're just reacting to the fate removal. Yeah. See, this is what this means that the card is functionally slow drip economy, which I think is fine. However, I think the obviously the interactions that this card the problem that's fine. That's actually fine. Uh Pet 0. I guess you want to gain 1, so I guess there should be an interrupt because I guess you do want to be able to gain the 1 still if your character dies. All right, so interrupt. Limit 1 per character? Sure. 1 per character. Yeah, of course, MacMush. Like, there's so many things you can do to fix balance in this game. Obviously, that's not really what I'm going for here. I'm mostly just trying to clean up the restricted list and fix these cards here, right? Like to rewrite the whole core rules, the core rules. Like I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to fix these cards, and then like what I would do is just reprint these cards with the new text in a reprint pack, and then just do release it as full arts or whatever, right? And then we can just move to a straight ban list like Netrunner did. Pathfinder's Blade is another easy fix. Pathfinder's Blade. Seeker will only interrupt if attached. So this card should cost 0, and then it just has the restricted keyword. Bam. See how easy that is? Yeah, MacMoosh. You could make charge. I mean, if I'm gonna make policy debate here we go. So this is a crane card. So policy debate's a crane card. I actually can fix charge. I like that actually. So easy. It's actually gonna be like this. Join the fray. Let's get the text of this card. Or let's just get charge. The text of charge. During. We'll go up here then. During a military conflict. So a charge is going to cost 2. 2 cost. And then we're going to go with lion card. 2 cost during a military conflict. Choose a Bushi character in one of your provinces. Put that character into play in the conflict. Done. No, I'm just literally just gonna make it lion join the fray, right? Like it costs 2, and I'm gonna make it target only Bushi. Like exactly join the fray, except for lion. Obviously, stuff like this will have other impacts on other cards, but that's not my goal right now. That's not where we're at. We're just trying to fix these cards. So Imperial Palace would just be banned. Ban Imperial, or as the Imperial Palace. Yeah. The Imperial Palace. And then I'll just publish this doc to go with my video and kind of there. Ban Imperial Palace, pretty easy. Next card is consumed by 5 fires. I would just it would just exist. So actually, here we go. So consume by 5 fires. I actually will I'll make a small tweak to make it a slightly harder deck building restriction. So it's here we go. It's also thematic. Pretty easy pretty easy addition that I think is thematic and helps with balance. Fire roll only. Done. Yeah, so consume by 5 fires is with rolls being open, Dark Black, I actually think that you can use roll restricted cards as a balancing tool because you're not people can build the deck however, right? So if you want to play Consume by 5 fires in Phoenix right now, instead of playing Seeker of Void and having this insane roll, you sacrifice that and then you just play you have to play Seeker of Fire or whatever, right? Like I think that's a fair compromise. You're being able because there's no restricted list anymore, right? So you're not losing anything by playing Consume by 5 fires. You're just getting a slightly worse row because of this, which I think is actually a good trade-off for how powerful this card is. Insanity Rises, yeah, Consume by 5 fires and Embrace the Void are both on there together because of the combination of and the way they interact with each other. That's why you have to change Embrace the Void to be just slow drip economy instead of mass fate stealing. I actually just don't. Okay, so Cunning Magistrate is so hard to fix because you have to change so many things. But like, if I was going to attempt to fix this card without banning it, it's like it would be like this. So Cunning Magistrate would become a Dynasty character with. While this character is defending, participating as a defender in a conflict. Yeah, there we go. Is there? I was gonna do Seeker and Fire Roll only, so you'd have to be exactly Seeker of Fire, Darth Air. But I guess if is that's not precedented, right? There's no cards that are both roll locked as Seeker Keeper and Elemental locked. So maybe you can't do that. Just based on precedent, like I don't want to change the way that cards are balanced. So maybe I would change this to Fire Roll only. Yeah, okay, so I would just change this to Fire Roll only instead of Seeker Roll only. Well, I think elemental restrictions. I think elemental restrictions are actually more deck building choices than Seeker and Keeper, and so I think this at least makes you give up more than you would if you had to just pick any Seeker. I'm not, I like that change because like the card itself. Okay, so Fate Worse Than Death is going to be. I actually have been discussing a fix with this with some people. I actually think the problem with Fate Worse Than Death and why it is always going to be a problem has to do with this line right here. This is not a Scorpion theme. Is technically a Phoenix theme, removing fate from characters. So we're gonna do it this way. A fate worse than death. Pretty easy fix. So this is gonna go down to 3 cost. So 3 cost. Action during a conflict, and then we're just gonna remove this line of text. And dishonor it. Done. Easy. So Fate Worse Than Death becomes a 3 cost event with everything else being the same and just not removing fate from the characters. It is still a very effective tool for single target character control. You still get the blank, you still get the bow and move home and the dishonor, and you still get unopposed if you're doing it as an attacker. Like it's still a very powerful tool. You're just not getting the ability to clear boards with it. Like that, which I think is perfectly acceptable. Iron Mine, actually, I have a small fix to Iron Mine that I think would alleviate Alleviate some of the frustrations with this card. Interrupt. Space. As long... Oh, this is bold. As long as this is on an unbroken province. Comma. Bam. What? Exact same text then. This just fix... On an... In n? I guess it would be in n. There. In an unbroken province. Bam. Alleviates so many of the negative play against Iron Mine is they just flip it on a broken province and you just can't interact with it meaningfully. This fixes that. Cooney Laboratory. I definitely spelled this wrong. Laboratory. Dexter's Lab coming back to me. I don't know if I can fix this card. I think blanket pumps are very dangerous and hard to balance. Cooney Laboratory. Hmm. No, I don't want it to be an. I think that's too weak, Ronan. Like markedly too weak. 2 honor is worth 4 military and immunity. No, I think I'm gonna do it this way. Uh, each character you control. So, man, this card is so. No, I'm gonna ban this card. So the problem with so the fix I was going to do. Laboratory is the fix I was going to do was that at the beginning you force reaction, lose an honor, then you choose to give +1 military or +1 political for the phase, right? You I just don't think that's a reasonable Macmish. Like I just don't think that blanket pumps are good balance space. Like use blanket pumps are worth so many conflict cards, and it's not a good tool to exist in my opinion, because if you control a Shugenja, you then have to limit your design space on Crab Shugenja for the rest of the game because Cooney Lab exists in its form, right? It's still just too powerful. And the reason you can't make it where you choose Mill or Paul is it is defending characters you control get +1/+1. Hmm. You know what? I actually like that. I like that. That is at least more thematic. Laboratory. Right? Yeah, okay. Each defending character gets +1/+1. Sure. Yeah, okay. No, I think can't be rebuilt is a really terrible limitation to put on it. This is maybe just not the right fix for the card, but at least this would make it more reasonable, I guess. Mark of Shame is a pretty easy fix. Action, and then this card becomes an event. 2 cost event. It's just the opposite of Soul Beyond Reproach. It costs 2 instead of 1 because I think double Dishonor has been proven to be more powerful than Honor. Let's see. Can you have Mark of Shame? Magistrate Station. I think I talked to Daidoji Micah about this fix, and I liked his suggestions. Of how he would fix this card if he just got to change the text of it. So this is going to be action. Nope, it's going to be reaction. Choose. It's also going to have the word cannot be a stronghold province. Choose an honor. Let's see. Choose an honor character. Reaction. After this province is attacked, choose an honored character. Ready that character. There we go. Oh, okay, okay, one sec. Oh, right, it still has the wrong word. Okay. Choose a character. Dishonor that character. Then dishonor it again. Yeah, you're right, because I changed it from attachment. Here we go. Magistrate Station. Cannot be Stronghold Province. Reaction after this province is attacked. Choose an honor character. Ready that character. Is that the wording? After a conflict is declared against this province. Okay. After province, choose an honor character. Ready that character. You don't think so? How about ready that character and that character cannot be bowed or moved home by opponent's card effects. Where's Sacred Sanctuary? I need the wording, the text on that. I think it should bow from conflict resolution, but I think if you can't be moved or bowed, it is worth it then. No, I don't want to choose a participating character. I actually think that's too weak. Oh. After an attack is declared against province, choose. Here we go. Choose an honored character you control. Ready that character. Until the end of the conflict, that character cannot be bowed by opponents' card effects or as a result. No, card effect. Cannot be bowed or moved home. There. Choose an honored character you control. Ready that character. Until the end of the conflict, that character cannot be bowed or moved home by opponents' card effects. Done. I would also personally add this text to Sacred Sanctuary, but again, we're not there. Well, so Ronan, I also think that Sacred Sanctuary should not be able to be a stronghold province. And so if I was gonna remake this card, I would remake it in a way that I don't need to errata it later. I think a lot of cards actually shouldn't have the text cannot be a stronghold province. But that's a tale for a different time. I think this should just be a row province. You should have some risk for playing this in. Now, to be fair, choose an honor character is way less restrictive than choose a monk character. So I think this is a perfectly fine province here. I think that's a good fix. I like that. Easy fix to Kokita Toshimoko. Really easy fix. We'll lose a conflict. Initiate a military duel. Lose a conflict. Interrupt. While this character is ready. I don't know where I should put this. While this character is ready, or would lose. Let's see, how do I do this? Lose a conflict and is ready. Initiate a military duel. Resolve the duel if this character wins. Instead of resolving the conflict as normal, both players count 0 total skill in the conflict. Is this card too weak with the standing clause, and instead of making it so your opponent, or instead of the ring going back to the middle, I make it so your opponent doesn't resolve the ring? I think that's fine. I mean, he still has insane stats, and he still can stop ring effects. Resolve the duel if this character wins. Cancel the... If this character wins, your opponent cannot resolve ring effects. There. What's the wording on Dazzling Duelist? Oh, that's cannot claim rings. What would be? I think this wording is correct. Your opponent cannot resolve ring effects. You still claim the ring during this conflict. Oh, sure. Wins. Resolve the duel if it's, cannot resolve ring effects during this conflict. Done. This still allows him to be able to stop your opponent. Oh, this is okay. I like this actually. All right, so then he doesn't need to be then the ready clause I think is too much because this doesn't stop you from your opponent from breaking. Yeah, I don't like that. How about I'll remove the ready clause and instead of making him just nullify the conflict, I'll make him just make it so your opponent can't resolve ring effects. So yeah, he's basically pilgrimage. He's pilgrimage. I like this. I think this is better and healthier design than stopping your opponent from being able to like win conflicts. So example, if your opponent does break but then loses the duel, at least they don't get the ring effect. I actually like this a lot. I think this is a better fix than one ready. What's the wording on pilgrimage? I want to make sure. Pilgrimage. During conflict of the province, cancel all ring effects. Oh, that doesn't help me. I think this wording is fine. All right, and then the last one is Bayushi Shouju 2. Hmm. I think this card is just perpetually unhealthy. However, I'm going to Bayushi Shouju. We're gonna delete this line of your opponents cannot have the Imperial favor. Holy shit! Why was that ever on that card? After the conflict phase begins, each player draws one card and loses one honor. This makes it harder for your opponent to dig for answers, and also, it chokes it slows his effect down because you're not introducing so many extra cards for the Scorpion. I like this. I like this change. Well, so that I think that card is just too weak. Pat, the problem like that card is just too weak. You're giving your opponent two cards, right? City of the Open Hand is banned, right? Like, oh yeah, I have to add that. So that's like the very first restricted card. So above this here, City ban, City of the Open Hand. Done. Forced reaction. After the conflict phase begins, each player draws one card and loses one honor. Fine. I think that's fine. I don't think so, Macmoosh. I think Dash Political is whatever. Um if like he can just be a stat stick. I don't think Dash Mill is too strong. I think it is strong right now in the current meta, but I think that some characters just having dash is fine. Like, because if you want to make that argument, then dash is too strong in general, and more characters should have zero. You know what I mean? I am fine with him being dash mill and having this text. So basically, what I have done is I have completely removed the restricted list. All these cards are either freed, changed, or banned, and then I have freed some cards off of the actual ban list. And so in reality, we will end up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 total cards that you just cannot play. As opposed to 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's already just 13 cards on the actual ban list, right? Like, I literally made the ban list one card smaller by fixing all these cards. And then the restricted list is gone. Like, this is how I would fix the current issue with. And then obviously there's certain, there's new cards that are problematic too. We're not getting into there. That's just not where I'm going with this discussion. But I think these changes are good. Yeah, so I guess it would be free by Uchilayer. No, it's just implied because I have to write free in front of everything then. Yeah, okay, okay. So this is how I'm gonna do it. So L5R cleanup is what I'll call this document. We'll go to publish this. All right, cool. Thanks everyone for just joining this impromptu stream. I'm gonna make it into a YouTube video and post the document onto Facebook and Discord. I really do appreciate the chat helping me out with text and stuff, and I think these changes would fix a lot of problems that people have, and I think it would really do a great job in cleaning up the game. So thanks everyone for hanging out, and I really do appreciate it. I'll catch you for more World Cup action or just if I'm streaming more content. So thanks.